think what I'm going to do is just start by talking a little bit and seeing how this all goes. It's been a while since I've done a live. I'm just checking to make sure you can hear me. You should be able to hear me. Been a while since I've done anything. I can't do a live on Instagram or Facebook currently, but that's okay. Sorry, I'm looking down here, looking at notes. I'm going to start talking about a lot of different things when it comes to religion, faith, and just my opinions. I'm going to give you some opinions, and this is not going to be maybe what you've seen before from me. This is not going to be sorry, everything's shaking. It's not going to be what you might think it is. Well, it's not going to be what you've seen from me in the past, I don't think. And the reason that is my mind has changed quite a bit. And with self-reflection, you become a different person. And I'm always changing, always evolving, always moving, always trying to go into something that makes me feel right. I you know how it is. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. So as I'm talking to you, or you're listening, this might be a little different than what you've seen from me in the past, and that's fine. For me, anyway. Hopefully it's fine for you. I'm sorry, looking very easily distracted because it's hard for me to keep my mindset on this. Let's just start off how many of you were raised in a Christian family, Christian household? And then, out of those people, how many of you were raised in the Assemblies of God or the Pentecostal church or something that's very evangelistic, I would say. Something really, really evangelic, something like that. I'm not the smartest man, but I do my best. Well, I was raised in those things, and I was raised to believe that. Well, I just had a certain opinion of how it was to be a Christian, a certain opinion on how it was to be that's my little puppy Maggie, a certain opinion on how I thought it was to be a man, just certain opinions on a lot of things. And I had, my opinions were based on what I was taught in church. Now, those have changed quite a bit. Those opinions have changed. My thoughts have changed. They've gone from one end of the spectrum to another. And then, in the past few years, my life has changed kind of back from where it was. Now, what do I mean by that? I've gone from being just an agnostic, practicing different faiths, searching different faiths, just looking everywhere. And honestly, everything keeps bringing me back to a kind of a different mindset. Sorry, I'm fucking screwing with my beard. Just a different mindset altogether. Whereas I used to worry about how I believed, what I believed in. When I used to worry about my place in this universe, well, I really don't worry about my place in the universe anymore. But I do always explore it. I am always searching for the answers. And when I mean the answers, I mean the answers to the questions to everything. It's much easier for me to sit here and speak to a camera into the eyes of you. I'm looking into you. I'm thinking about the person who's listening to me. You are soul searching. You are looking for something that you have not found. Your heart still looks for it. You've been raised Christian, so you know what it is to be in church. You understand the movement of the Holy Spirit. You felt it, I'm sure, as a young man, woman. You felt the movement of the Holy Spirit. And you know what I mean by that. You can feel that energy that created, that energy that flows from you to the people near you as you're holding hands, raising hands, praising God. And you feel that. You know it's the Spirit of God talking to you. The Spirit of God touching your heart. The Spirit of God reaching into you. Now, I have felt the Spirit of God in many circumstances, not just at church, but in many circumstances. Case in point. One time, I was at a kind of a psychic. It was a psychic fair, and I was with a lot of psychics. Now, I know people that are of the Christian faith would think that's wrong, would think that is hedonistic, would think that that is evil, and I understand. I get it. I understand the reasoning behind it. I understand the fear behind it. But I also have done enough of my own exploration to know that God works in mysterious ways. God will talk to you. God will find you. God will be right where you are and meet you where you are. What do I mean by that? I can always talk to God. No matter what the circumstances in life is, no matter where I'm thinking things are coming from in my universe, God is always there. God has always been there. Even when I didn't want to listen or talk or pray or anything, God was still there. What is God? God is the universal being that has created all things, and all things are God. It might take you, if you've not studied religion, haven't thought about religion, you may not realize that God created the heavens and the earth. God created Adam and Eve, Steve, John, Bob, David, all the people, anything that ever existed on this planet. And yes, I do believe there are other beings that were here along with. In the creation story, I have a belief that, yes, there were other beings here. Adam and Eve were just a lineage of people to prove the lineage of Christ. That's why Adam and Eve exist. Father Abraham. All the Abrahamic religions basically are of Old Testament source. They've all evolved and changed. Excuse me, sorry. Make sure that didn't go crazy. 1, 2. Yeah, we're good. Thank you. Adam and Eve were the originals for that source of lineage. They were just taking you back to that time period. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my beard. It's getting long. I'm going to let it keep going. So, who were the other people? Well, after Cain slew Abel, Cain went off, and who knows, it could have been I mean, it could be anything, but he did have a wife, and he did have a family, and we all know that how inbreeding is. We've seen it with royals and things like that. So God would have known about inbreeding and the issues, but I don't think inbreeding at the time was really an issue because people lived a lot longer than they do now. And you were talking about a pure lineage. I think they understood that things were more pure then. We hadn't had chance to really screw up our DNA. So, what am I getting to? I believe Jesus Christ is the Son of God. I don't believe that that's really for debate. If you believe in the Quran believes that it says that Jesus will be coming back again. It also says you should read and trust the Bible. It doesn't take much to make you understand that you've got to. Well, she hadn't been feeling good today. She ate something. I think she ate a lizard. Anyway, it shouldn't take much for anyone with a little bit of studying and understanding to see the validity of the Bible, to see the validity of what it's trying to tell you. Now, for me, I don't call myself a Christian, nor will I. Do I follow Jesus, the teachings of Jesus Christ? Absolutely. Do I believe Jesus Christ is the Son of God? I sure do. I believe I'm a son of God. I believe you're a daughter of God. We are all children of God. And what Jesus was trying to teach us is how to get to God. How to get there. The church, religion, those things that influence people, I have a real problem with them. They create doctrine. They create a sense of what should be and what shouldn't be. But it's a church dictating to you what you should be doing. Why would the church ever be dictating you? Why? What has the church done that makes them ruler over people? Jesus didn't set up the church. Jesus set up the church through, was it Peter or Paul? I have a hard time remembering that. But he set up the church, Paul, through him. It was a person, not a place. What do you mean by setting up the church? The church is not a synagogue. What is the meaning of church? Let's look that up. Because you know what? You don't have to be brilliant anymore. You just have to be able to Google search things and understand what to Google search. Let's see what it says. What is the definition of church? A building used for public Christian worship. But sorry, I'm looking here. Was the church in the Bible the same as what the church is today? I always like asking stuff like that. What the heck? Yeah, they are really. Anyway. And what I'm getting at is that the church was never considered to be a place. It's now a place, but it wasn't a place before. Where did teachers like Jesus teach? Hillsides, valleys, wherever he could sit and find people to talk to. And what did he talk to him about? He talked to him about salvation, finding Jesus, finding him through all the crap we go through as humans. What do I mean by that? Constantly being bombarded with sin. Jesus paid for that. Jesus paid for your sins by dying on the cross. Why? I struggled with that one for a long time. I really did. I still do. A perfect being like God. Perfect being that created both good and evil. The one and only true God. The God above all other gods. There are lesser gods. There's multiple gods. But there's only one big G God. The lesser gods are most likely Nephilim or other beings that exist within this. You don't know what God has created or not created. This is where we all fall short. Talks about falling short of the glory of God because you can't begin to understand God and all God's glory. You can't begin to understand God, period. We're monkeys. We're mammals running around. We just happen to have an understanding of what there is a higher power. We have an understanding that there's something bigger than ourselves. I have to say the church and I have split ways on many occasions. I will say I was probably right, maybe sometimes, and wrong a lot of times. My justifications were wrong. My understandings were wrong. But sometimes your heart needs to go through a transformation to understand God, understand Jesus. We have 2,700 active, really like major active religions currently going on right now in the world. You can look it up, Google, search it. You can find that out. It's easy. And I don't hold anything against any of them except for maybe Satanism. I have the Satanist Bible. I have it. You got to know your enemy. You got to know what you have. It's humanism. Satanism is humanism for the most part. But don't. I'm not being complacent because there are evil people out there that will take your children and destroy you and destroy your children. They will destroy your lives and be happy about it. There's so much evil in this world. I'm convinced that when a Bible talks about Satan's 1,000-year rule, we're right smack dab or whatever that millennial he reigns for a millennial, whatever that is, a millennium. Or a time. I'm not a scholar necessarily, Bible scholar. I have been. I've studied the Bible many times. I have an honorary doctorate in it, which means nothing. I'll tell you right now, let's be truthful, be honest, it means nothing. Because I haven't spent many years studying the actual Bible. I've done a lot of years of studying things that are metaphysics, spirituality, spiritual this, spiritual that, crystal this, crystal that, magic charms and bracelets and positivity, and I'll preach to you about how you can be something. But at the end of the day, when all is said and done, there's only one being that has ever existed. One. They said he died for you and rose again on the third day. 400 plus people saw him, are witness to his resurrection, to his walking. They saw the holes in his hands, the holes in his feet, where the spear pierced him in the side. That's probably not good for me, but that's the way it is. So they had all these things. We saw all these things. They did. And there's so much proof. Does the proof help me become a better person? Does it help my belief in Jesus? Yeah. I tend to like facts. But I also have faith. And I have heard that one too many times. You gotta have faith. Gotta have faith. If you're going to believe that Jesus is, some things aren't. I used to be told everything was in the Bible. Any answer you have is in the Bible. I think any answer you have might be through prayer. Might be through your constant search for the truth. I know you're probably thinking, all these people who have never met Jesus, who have never known the truth of Jesus. Well, let's be truthful. Let's be truthful. God says everyone will have the chance to know him. He says it. In the Bible, it's said. I've read it. You want to look at where it's at? Find it. That all will have a chance to know him. So I figure that if you do your best, and I mean your best, and people don't know what I mean by your best is doing things right when nobody's looking. Your best is reaching out to God and worshiping God and thanking God for this life. We live in a world of evil and chaos. We live in a world drenched in sin and sorrow, pain and suffering. It's this life. It's what it is. The pain and suffering is something that we go through. We're all going to live. We're all going to die. That is the sad kind of truth of it. But it's also the miraculous truth of it. Because this is not anything more than you're just a part of the whole adventure. Now, people ask me, hey, do you still believe in Buddha, or do you believe in reincarnation? Yeah, Buddha's not a god. Buddha didn't claim to be a god. Buddha didn't claim any of that. I have a statue of Buddha, and people will go, don't put other gods before. No, that's not what it means. To me, it's not. And excuse me. And people that are Buddhist, if you truly understand Buddhism, I think you would. Or I shouldn't say that, because I don't necessarily study Buddhism or anything like that. I understand the story of Siddhartha, how he became the Buddha. Buddha is an attainment that you would achieve for other people. It's not for yourself. To obtain enlightenment for just your own purpose would be completely unnecessary. Why would enlightenment just for the one person be worthwhile? Unless it's God. Now, God may see a way that is. Do I believe in reincarnation? I think it's very possible. I don't think being Christian and believing in reincarnation or Buddhism has anything to do with Christianity. I don't have anything. I'm not against it. I'm not pro. I'm not against. I'm not anything. It's just I think it's possible, and I think it happens. It could be wrong. Might be wrong. But the odds are we're probably all wrong a little bit. And I don't want people to think that they don't have what it takes to get to heaven. I think we all have what it takes to get to heaven and get to a place of understanding. I don't think the Bible totally explains everything. I don't think we understand what Jesus said completely. I think we are a world with amnesia, as Graham Hancock would say. There's a lot more to this world. But we're still free to question, answer, and explore those things without judgment. And we should be free to explore religion, faith, understandings. Here's how I look at it. My dad was a carpenter, became a general contractor, and then switched over and worked in HVAC. I helped my dad build things sometimes, helped him out. He showed me different things. Hammering a nail doesn't make me a contractor. It doesn't make me a carpenter. But I get to understand more about it if I do it. I try it. I understand more about it. I'm not a carpenter, but I'm still allowed to try. Now, I don't think it's good or smart to try things that are ungodly. Satanism, trying to fight demons. Solomon controlled demons. Solomon was that person who did that, but he was also the wisest man that ever lived. And unless you're Solomon, which our ego sometimes will let you think you're Solomon, but unless you're Solomon, you would have no reason or capability maybe of understanding how it is to control demons. There's a book, The Lesser Key of Solomon. There's other stuff out there, and you can get out there and try to control demons. You can. I think you'd be probably successful at it. You talk to Aleister Crowley. Of course, you can't. He's dead. But Aleister Crowley, he spent a lifetime doing crap like that. The thing is that most of these people like Aleister Crowley, Anton LaVey, Satanists, magicians, they are all trying to get into real world magic, which I believe exists. I mean, we've had, was it when Jesus was first doing miracles, they asked if he was from Egypt because they knew the Egyptians, bye Maggie, they knew the Egyptians were magicians and they had great understanding of magic. Now, magic can be real, magic can be just illusion. Excuse me. It's hard to know what the illusion is. Was it? I don't believe what Jesus did was an illusion. I mean, you can only do so many. I mean, it's possible, but not probable. When you're going around and you're doing that much healing and just repairing people's lives, bringing the dead back to life. And I know there's endless possibilities of things that can possibly happen, that Lazarus was told to rise and maybe he wasn't completely dead, but you know what? People were pretty good about figuring out who was dead and who wasn't dead back in the day. If they're not breathing, maybe starting to decay a little bit, because they didn't have embalming. Well, they had their Egyptian styles of embalming, but they really didn't have embalming. Say hi. Say hi. Hi, puppies. Say hi, puppies. Say, I haven't been feeling good today. I haven't been feeling good today. That's my sweetheart. She's such a sweet puppy. I think she got a hold of I think she ate a lizard. She likes to play with them, but I think she eats them. They make her sick. Huh. She's got to not eat those lizards, huh? Anyway, I've got her some rice down there. Hopefully she'll eat it. Right now she ain't eating nothing. Not very excited about eating anything. So, back to what I was saying. I'm going to start trying to do more and get an understanding of how to work this OBS studio and all these fun things, and really just try to put something out there on a regular basis. Maybe just to talk, just talking. I'll do the best I can. I can't guarantee I'm going to be here all the time, but I've got a new setup. If you can't believe it, the way this is all set up, I got my mic right here now. I got a boom kind of going over the top you can't see, and I'm working off of a very small portable desk. Got a couple of lights in the back trying to just light me up so I'm not drowned out in the background. I'm hoping that this will be the start of something good, and I look forward to maybe helping and talking to you. You can reach me through I think Google. You can leave a message, or you can reach me at I don't know. We'll figure it out. If you want to contact me, then you can. We'll see what happens. Just want to show you a quick picture because I'm kind of playing here a minute. Let's see what happens. I captured that with my drone. That was a couple years ago, fire near me, and just thought it was kind of a cool thing. Anyway, have a blessed rest of your day, evening, whatever it is. And thank you.